Hey guys, TheSmileBC here, and welcome to the renewed Lord of the Rings mod rundown for update 4.7. Although the 0.7 is a small update itself, I haven't made any rundowns for the renewed mod yet, and I figured this would be as good of a start as any, so let's just dive straight into it, covering every important element added in renewed since update 4, and every decimal point after that. Throughout the updates in version 4, one could consider it the reawakening of men, and elves, orcs, and dwarves. Because once again, the world of Middle-earth is inhabited by all the mobs you know and love or hate. With the names, basic AI, and now even the ability for them to talk to each other. Do note, speech banks are still at a placeholder stage, but at least they don't need to talk to you to kick your ass or look at the sunset and stars. Maggoty bread, men flesh, and cram are also now back and renewed as the iconic food items of our smaller friends and foes. But be careful, as racial food items will now have a chance to hurt people who are not part of that faction. So orcs best lay off the lembas, and elves shouldn't really be eating men flesh. Finally, the dwarf armor sets now also have their updated trimmed sets. Moving on to version 4.1, elven swords once again glow when orcs are nearby, alignment functionality came back into play, and snowy northlands were added to the terrain of Middle-earth. Also, dwarves now suffer from less knockback when hit because they are sturdy, sure-footed, and very dangerous on a short distance. When 4.2 came around in June, the Tower Hills biome made a glorious comeback. Rohan and Angmar building materials were added again, and Zombivite picklings were kicked out of the Middle-earth dimension. We don't have place for those. 4.3 added carousels, that's all I need to say on that. 4.4 added some content for Umbar and the southern coast of near Harad. The first few new shield models were added to use or decorate your house with. Mordor, Gondor, Rohan, and Dale can already flaunt their shields, with more to come. Speaking of shields, mobs will now start using shields to block your attacks as well. See how you like it. We are still tweaking this behavior, so don't worry if you get beaten up by them. Moving on to 4.5, melee weapons with reach are ported back in, allowing for daggers and spears to make a comeback. NPCs now don't only shield your attacks, but they also reinvented the bow and arrow for themselves to attack you from a distance. Additionally, they're not going to block their own arrows anymore, as it passes through allied units now. Also, if you do close the distance, they'll take that personal and reach for the daggers to make it personal. In 4.6, you can throw spears again, and if you dual wield with a shield, you can still throw it as long as you're crouching. Wicker fences and bars are now separate items, which were formerly known as reed bars. Also, custom waypoints can be built with snow bricks and bone blocks for those in the mood to make an igloo or a bone waypoint. And then finally, 4.7, in which we added Fog of War to the world map, to leave the mystery of the world for you to explore. To make it even more enticing, we updated the Northern Mountains thanks to the new Nature of Middle-earth book that came out, affecting the Iron Hills, the Fort Waith Mountains, and more. Additionally, mobs will now spawn in mixed groups of archers and infantry, instead of just clustering of the same mob. Now, that was everything major added between 4.0 and 4.7. As always, the full changelog and updated list can be found by looking at the changelog, link in the description. I hope you enjoyed the latest updates, and I will be seeing you in the next video.